Hello, my name's Adrian from Jack Fine Art Printing, and in this video we'll be going through the basic setup that you need to start scanning your artwork. We'll be looking at things like your monitor, your lighting conditions, and also your environment. This can include things like wallpaper, lampshades, tablecloths, etc. All of these have an impact when it comes to assessing how our prints look compared to the original. So we'll start off by firstly looking at our monitor. Crucial bit of kit. It's at the heart of everything that we do. It's where we first see the quality of our scan. It's where we make any adjustments that we need to make in our photo editing software such as Photoshop. From there we save it and we send it to print, and invariably we're disappointed with the results. So I did a quick search on Google looking for TV showrooms, and I came across this picture. I think it shows you what the problem is. You don't know whereabouts on there that your monitor is. You don't know which one's right, which one's wrong, how far out they are. Your monitor could be anywhere amongst that group. To overcome this problem, we need to calibrate our monitor. This is really easy to do. It's a little device that sits on our monitor and just plugs in from our USB connector. So we basically have two suppliers for our monitor calibration: Datacolor and X-Rite, two widely known, well-used companies. Each of them offer a range of products that do a similar thing, from an entry-level Express for the Datacolor down to the Elite, or with a Smile to the Photo for the X-Rite. Really depends on your budget and what you want them to do, basically. Well worth just checking out their websites and having a look at their products and the comparisons that they have. As I said before, really simple to use, and I'll just run you through a very quick video that I made earlier that takes you through the process. Okay, so once your software is installed, you generally start off with a welcome screen. The next thing we need to do is just set up the type of display we have. In this case, I'll be using an LCD monitor. Next stage is to indicate which controls we have, so contrast and brightness. Now the monitor that I have, I can also set the color temperature, this 6500K, or Kelvin presets as they call it here. This may not be available on all monitors. If you haven't got it, just leave it unchecked. I'll go through those a little bit later on anyway, so you'll get more familiar with what that Kelvin preset is. It's quite important and it will come up quite a bit. So we have three options now: the recalibration, check the calibration, and a full calibration. I'll run through the full calibration for this video. Next options are gamma, white point, and brightness. Now all three do come with a recommended setting. Personally, I find the 120 recommended a bit too bright, so I prefer setting this at 100. If you want to know more about all of these, there's always these little help options here, which you can just click on. It'll open up a new window, and then you can read what each of these settings are. This is just reminding me that I need to set the monitor for the white point of 6500K. Right, so all I do is I've plugged the device into the USB, put it onto where the markers are, and then once it's positioned, just click on the next. So the calibration is basically split into two parts. First, it will go through a quick check of the channels: the black, the white, red, green and blue, and it will ask me to adjust the brightness if it needs adjusting. Once that's done, it will then carry on with the next stage, the full calibration and making the profile. I'll let it run just through the first part so that you can see what's going on. Okay, so as you can see here, we have two sort of like a target area that we need to match. It's also given me the current measurement and the target measurement. It's pretty much bang on, so I don't really need to do anything with the brightness. Once if you may need to increase it or decrease it depending on the results you get. Once you're happy, if you make an adjustment, just click on the update button. Otherwise, it's continue. I'll not show the whole process because you can see we've got quite a ways to go. So I'll continue the video once it's finished. Okay, so always a good opportunity to sneak off and make a brew while that's running. So it's now finished. So we'll just click on here. Now it comes up here with a title here, generic PMP monitor 1 in my case. So I'm only running off the one monitor, so I don't really need to rename it. I'll just leave it at that. You can set the calibration reminder to how often you want to do it. I leave mine for 2 weeks, but it really depends on how much scanning you're doing. If you're not doing it very often, then just calibrate before you do any scanning. Click on save. There you go, it's now been saved in my system. Now every time I start my computer, it will automatically run this profile, so you don't have to go in and load it or anything like that. It will start automatically. You probably won't see this, but it then gives you the option to look at the calibrated view versus the uncalibrated view. And here you can see the sRGB and how my monitor compares to it. So you can see I've got a lot more colour in there and how it looks versus the Adobe. So I'm pretty close to the Adobe RGB, not too far out, a bit out on the green at the top there. You can also run various reports and advanced analysis, which gives you lots of different options here. Again, you can click on the help button to find out which each one does. But that's it. I've plugged it in, clicked a few buttons, had a brew, and it's calibrated. It's as simple as that.